Hi, everyone. This is Caroline, and I'm excited to bring you lots of amazing and beautiful expats all over the globe. Today, I have the amazing, the joyful Sherry Thorpe. Hello, Miss Sherry. How are you? And
Oh,
Sherry is living her best life in beautiful Mexico, just like I am, and want to talk with you. I want to say something first, though, before we begin. Looking through your posts in Instagram, and I know that you have a page called Black Expats Living. I just seeing your pictures, it just evokes this joy, this feeling of wow, like you're really having fun. And I don't say that to everyone, but I felt like, wow, she's really enjoying herself. So can't wait to hear your story. Sherry, where are you from originally?
originally. So I'm from Texas, Dallas, Texas.
Yay, Dallas, Texas. Okay, all right.
Actually from, just because, I want to make sure that I shout out my city. I'm actually from a small city outside of Dallas, and it's called Irving, Texas. It used to be where the Cowboys play. That's how I kind of reference it. It's where I grew up. It's where I was raised. And I was living there up until 2 years prior to moving here to Playa del Carmen. I was living in South Florida, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, for 2 years before moving here.
Okay, so had you been to Mexico before visiting, before you decided to live here?
Yes, I've been to Mexico twice. I've been to Cancun, and then I've been to Cabo, Los Cabo.
Okay, but Playa stole your heart.
Accidentally. I definitely stumbled upon Playa because when I was first looking to travel to Mexico, I just knew I needed to get out of the United States to continue on doing the life that I needed to live here on Earth. So I was looking for Cancun, but the prices for Airbnbs were a little less expensive in Playa del Carmen. I didn't know anything about Playa del Carmen, so I just knew that it was close to Cancun based off of my search at Airbnb. So my Airbnb literally led me to loving Playa because I wouldn't have known anything about Playa del Carmen.
So you have lived before becoming an expat, you lived in some warm places like Dallas and Florida. And of course, Mexico is a tropical country. Uh, what are some of the comparisons? I mean, besides the weather, do you find that just the everyday going and coming is similar to Dallas or to Florida?
Um, no, actually, it's not. So the cost of living is way more better here. More friendlier to my budget here in Playa del Carmen. I'm 3 blocks from the beach, and if I was to get anything that's 3 blocks from the beach in South Florida, it would break my budget for sure. I would be definitely outside of my budget. So living here 3 blocks from the beach. I can walk wherever I want to walk. If I want to catch a taxi, it's like $2 to $3. You know what I'm saying? Probably $2 to $5. I can ride. I can get a bicycle, and I don't even have to use a taxi. So the quality of life for me is so much better here. And then the fact that we have a community here that supports us, that's thriving, that's being built, where we just have all these different entrepreneurs. It's just lovely. It's a mix of having a community that I didn't have in the United States outside of church. I didn't have this type of community outside of church. And then being 3 blocks from the beach, so and an affordable place to live that's close to the beach.
So that's everybody's dream, live by the beach, walk to the beach. And I wanted to jump in and say, you're right about, the transportation issue, even in Florida, because I remember I lived at one point 2 blocks from the Walgreens on the corner, and I had to get in my car just to drive there because it was just been so awkward, to walk because I had to cross the highway. And it's just better to just jump in your car and drive there for even 2 blocks. So to be able to just walk to the beach. So you mentioned that there's quite a community there. Um, what is everybody doing? Or is it all digital nomads? Are there retirees? What kind of a mix is it in Playa right now?
It's a crazy mix. So I clearly am this outgoing, bubbly person where I'm just gonna meet everybody and their mama, right? So I have the opportunity to speak to so many people. We have engineers here, we have doctors here, we have people with PhDs that are not like a medical doctor, but they have chosen to leave their career and now they're doing entrepreneurship. We have a lawyer here, which is probably more than just one lawyer, but I've met one lawyer. We have YouTube vloggers, so they do that full time. We have people that have their entrepreneurship where they're just running their own business. It's an online business or it's a business that teach coaches women or men. Our people in general. And then we have people that are working just your everyday corporate America job, but right now they have the opportunity to work remote. So they chose to work remotely in Mexico. So it's a large community of just people in different fields, different jobs, and yeah, we're just here. Yeah, real estate. Yeah, there's so much.
So how was it, what was it like for, and maybe you can't answer this, but for the Mexicans, seeing so many of us arriving and coming? I mean, have you gotten any feedback? Like, how have they accepted this influx of folk coming? You know, because Playa was typically just a, back in the day was just a touristy spot. You're in, you're out, you come to the beach and you go out. But now we have an influx of people that are actually living here long term. How have you noticed, or do you know the feedback? I mean, are they, are the Mexicans just excited and happy that we're coming, or are they kind of, what's going on? And especially now with events that are happening in the U.S., do you find that they're easygoing, that they love having us around, or they kind of just wondering who we are?
Yeah, for the most part, just being a Black woman here, I find them to be amazed. I get where they're driving in their cars and they're turning their heads, and it's not just the men and women. The other day, I was out here in front of somebody's door because it was beautiful, and literally the police they stopped and they watched me. Like they just watched. They were amazed that it's just like I just feel like I can just give the word for what they're just amazing. So that's the word that I would like to use. I haven't sensed or felt as if they're in the space of, oh my goodness, all these people are trying to come in our land. Am I frozen?
Yeah,
Okay,
just
no, I wasn't frozen. Okay, yeah. So I don't sense that. I don't feel that at all. I did have one incident since I've been here, and I've been here for almost 3 months, where my taxi driver was frustrated, and he communicated that he was frustrated in his own personal way, that I didn't know as much Spanish as he would like me to know. So I believe that there's some frustration there because for the workers, when we don't speak their language yet we're on their land. So I believe that would be the only frustrating part. But for the most part, we're paying them. We're giving them money out of our pockets for whatever job they're in. So we're supporting them in a sense. So that's the only frustration that I feel as if they would have. But yeah, I guess that would be a good question for me to ask a local about this influx of community that has like moved here from Black, white, whatever, because Playa is pretty diverse now. Like we're just not just Mexicans living here. It's definitely a lot of Americans, Germans. Like we are here in Playa to stay.
Yeah, that's really interesting. A lot of people ask that, especially those that are not familiar with living in certain countries. How do they receive foreigners coming. So I want to talk to you a little bit about blackexpats.living. Now you started this page. What made you decide to do that?
Just because I just really want to highlight the expats life here in, well, actually here in Mexico and then all over the world. So because I believe that we're in a situation, we're living a life where people want to know about it, right? My friend, this is a normal life for me, even though like it's not normal. I have been living here for almost 3 months, and it's amazing, right? I'm 3 blocks from the beach, affordable rent. I'm living in this country, where they speak Spanish, and I barely know, un poquito español. So it's like, but to them, it's like, how? Like, how do you get to live there? Why are you living there? And like, can I do it? So I was like, if I show them more of your everyday people on Instagram, where they can just go look at a picture and be like, oh my goodness, so this person lives there, that person lives there too. So they can relate more to your everyday Mary Jane person just living her best life in Mexico, or in a land that's foreign to them. So I want to highlight that. I want to showcase that so people can know that you do not have to limit yourself to your homeland. That was the purpose of it.
And I'm going to encourage the viewers to go to your Instagram page. We're going to post it below, in the link below, because it really you've done a wonderful job. The pictures really just, as I said, you just looking at them, you just want to pack your bags and move there. It just really gives you the feel of, wow, I am breathing, fresh air. I'm relaxed. I'm just living my best life. That is it's amazing. So you are encouraging people to get out and travel. Do you ever feel that maybe there are people that are, maybe perhaps back in the US that say, oh, well, it's easier said than done and whatever, I mean, maybe it's all a big show and you see the beautiful people on the beach. And do you feel that there's some people that feel that it's unattainable, that lifestyle that we brag and boast about?
Yes, I definitely feel that, because more so, I believe that when we're posting that, for the most part, a lot of us are not showing the process of how we got here, right? We're literally just, one day we were in the States, or one day we were in our homeland, and then now we're in this foreign land, right? We're not showing the process of how we got to this foreign land, so they can actually see that this was literally one state to another state. So, and for me to test it out, because right now I am on a tourist visa, right? Because it allows me to be here for 6 months. So, but that 6 months is very long, like maybe when the 6 months is ended, maybe okay, I want to live my best life in a foreign land. Maybe that has ended for me. Maybe I don't want to do that anymore. But 6 months is a very long time to experience living abroad. So I think if more of us show the process, like actually showcase from the beginning, from us packing our bags, for us getting on a plane and actually choosing Airbnbs, working with realtors, working with the community that's already there, people would be more receptive of the fact that this is an easy process.
So that is really that's really interesting. What advice would you give someone who is considering moving abroad? Someone maybe who's, a little bit scared, uh, just unsure, because we that are travelers, we always assume that, oh yeah, everybody has a passport, everybody's been somewhere, and yet there are so many of us that have never stepped foot out of the state or where they live. What advice would you give someone, especially women, traveling alone, or single women? What could you say to for motivation?
So as a solo traveler, even before I moved abroad to Mexico, a solo traveler, my heart towards traveling solo is that it births a strength in me, it births courage in me that I didn't have, and I don't believe that I could get by just living in the States or my homeland. I believe traveling solo and actually leaving my country gave me courage that I just didn't be able to get just by living a regular life in the States. So, of course, clearly you need a passport. Get that passport ASAP. It's not a lot of money. It's going to be one of the best investments that a person could have. And then right now we have technology, beautiful technology, right at the tip of our fingertips, right? So there's so many groups, and people will be surprised if you're going to move to a country or travel abroad. Pinterest is really good. Look up that city or look up that country for things to do, places to live. Pinterest, people document these things on Pinterest or Google it. And then join a Facebook group, right? So in Playa del Carmen, we have a Facebook group called Black Expats /income. And then we have Expats, like we have Expats in Playa del Carmen. So there's so many groups that a person can join prior to making that decision to move or prior to even making that decision to visit, right? I see in the group that I'm in, a lot of people are asking, hey, how is the COVID numbers there? Are people wearing the mask? Are they social distancing? How is it for moving with children there? Like, how's the activities there? So you can ask all of these questions prior to moving, and you have like a person that's literally on the ground in that city or in that country that you're thinking about moving to, rather than you just jumping the gun and moving to a country or even traveling solo to a country. You can get a feel of that country through a testimony from a person that's already living there. So Facebook, Pinterest, Google, Instagram. Look up the hashtag for that place to see if you can just like follow some people that's already like living there, or just look at the pictures that's there, because people, use a hashtag associated with that city sometimes. So you should find a lot of information just from doing that.
That's great advice. Great advice. So how can we get a hold of you? How can we reach you? You're on the gram.
I am. So all of my network channels are usually the same: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook is the only one that's different. TikTok is the same. So TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter is at Sherry Thorpe. So that's SHERRY Thorpe, THORPE7. All those are the same. And then my name on Facebook is Sherry Thorpe. And then I also manage 2 Instagram pages, expats.living, and then the other one is black.expats.living.
Okay, great. Sherry, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to share your story with us. And hopefully you have inspired someone to take that leap and get out and explore and live their best life also. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for having me. I really do appreciate this.
Bye-bye.